Hey everybody, this is Rob Archangel, www.archangelinc.com, and today I want to talk about royalties and distribution channels and some of the questions that folks might have around that. This is based on a question that we got from a client who is curious about it, and I'll read the question to you here. Curious about the sales channels beyond the basic ones, meaning Amazon.com and Amazon Europe and Amazon UK. I'm unsure about how to make money from those channels. One of them indicated that it allows bookstores and other independent sellers to buy the book at wholesale prices, which suggests to me that I wouldn't make any money on them. Am I wrong on that? Also, when I check all of them, it drives up the minimum list price, and I'm not sure why. Can you share some thoughts? So yes, the answer is related to both of those elements of the question. When you use expanded distribution through CreateSpace, they do take a wholesale discount. Now, expanded distribution makes your book available to places like libraries, educational and academic institutions, independent booksellers, and other retail channels. And as a cost of doing business with those channels, they do take a wholesaler's discount, and you have to charge at least enough to cover both the printing costs of your particular project as well as their portion of the retail sales price. So that's just the cost of doing business in those channels, and the minimum list price, if it is too low to accommodate all of that, we'll have to raise to accommodate it. So you can make that book available at a higher list price, and you can earn a little bit more per unit sold. But obviously, if you're putting it out on the market, there's going to be some negotiation that you have to manage with making sure that it is still at a competitive price point. So you can price your book at $100 or $1,000 if you wanted, and you can make a good bit on each unit sold, but the likelihood that you're going to sell very many units will probably go down the higher you move the price point. So you sort of have to figure that out and navigate it for yourself. But let's look at some particulars for this book, because this is a color book, around 170 pages. So go into CreateSpace.com, you click on Books, Publish a Trade Paperback, and you're going to get to a page that looks like this. It actually has several options here: overview, cover, interior, printing options, distribution, royalties, and we'll go to buying copies. I've already filled this in. So it's a full color book. Let's say trim size at 6x9, 170 pages. One book will cost for the author $12.75. Now, it's also interesting to note that if you change the trim size, it does nothing to affect the price of the book. So you can have a 6x9 book or 8.5x11, all at the same per unit cost. So if you do have full color, then it may be of value to you to use a higher trim size if it's appropriate for the content in your book, simply because you can get more pages, more words per page, have fewer overall pages, and thus reduce the overall number of pages. So we'll do another little bit of manipulation here. Let's say it's 6x9 and you have a 200-page book. Calculate it, you'll see that the price goes up a little bit. But let's go back, 170. So you can make roughly $12, you can print this book for roughly $12.75. And let's say you want to make it available for sale. You go over to the Royalties tab. Again, same page, just moving over here, but it's already filled in. 6x9, full color, 170 pages. Let's say you price it at $24.99. On Amazon.com, you're going to make $2.24. On the CreateSpace eStore, $7.24. Through expanded distribution, you're actually going to lose $2.76 per unit sold, and they won't allow that for you. They will raise the minimum list price, as we mentioned earlier. What happens if you want to make it, let's say, $29.99? Well, you can do that, and you'll make a little bit more on Amazon, $5.24. You'll make a good bit more on the CreateSpace eStore, $11.24. Expanded distribution, you're still losing 76 cents per copy, so they're not even going to let you do that. You're probably going to have to go up to, let's say, $32.99 before they start doing that. Yeah, at $32.99, you make 44 cents per copy. But obviously, again, you have to be cognizant of the market and what the market will bear, and whether you have the ability to price it at that price point and still move units in the way that you're hoping to. So what other options do you have? Well, you could print it yourself and in-house some of the overhead. So for example, $32.99, you're going to get $7 from Amazon, meaning they eat up about $26 of each unit sold. So that's a good portion. But let's say you print it. Again, if you print your own copies, $12.75 each. Let's account for tax and shipping, round it up to $15. And then if you're selling the book at $33 per copy, then that is $18 or so per copy that you have on top of the base costs. Now, is it worth your while to do that? Maybe. It's possibly worth it if you have some infrastructure, if you don't mind warehousing some books, managing the upfront cost, and printing, let's say, a dozen, 2 dozen, 100 copies, and having them there. If you have your own distribution channel, let's say you have your own website, or you have a physical store that you make the book available at, or you set up a website and you have somebody else manage it. The question is it worth your while per unit? Are you able to make enough of a difference in terms of profit margin to justify the upfront costs and make some decent amount per unit? It's up to you. Obviously, everybody's situation is different, and then their tolerance is different. Some people are totally fine with the prospect of handling shipping and returns and handling the logistics, getting these items out to the post office or UPS or wherever. Other people don't want anything to do with that. It's interesting to note, though, that the CreateSpace e-store offers $13.64 per sale. Even if we were doing it ourselves, we mentioned it's about $15 base cost plus whatever the shipping cost might be for you as an individual to ship it out. It's about $4 difference. For some people, the difference of $4 per unit sold and a royalty of $13.50 might mean that it's totally worth it to let CreateSpace handle it. The downside is that very few people use the CreateSpace e-store. Obviously, on your website, you can preferentially send people over to CreateSpace. You do have a listing there, and that's an option. Most people already have Amazon accounts, and I think given the choice, most people would prefer Amazon simply because many people have Amazon Prime. They do offer free shipping over certain thresholds, even if you don't have Prime, and it's one fewer place where you have to set up a new account and input your personal information, your credit card information, your shipping information, that kind of thing. Anyway, that's a little bit of an overview of some of the options for distribution. The other thing that you could do potentially is warehouse items not from CreateSpace, but print them out, have a small print run from some other printer, and there are some pros and cons to that, which maybe I'll talk about in another video. But here is a little bit of the summary of what's available through CreateSpace and some of the considerations that you might think about in terms of determining what your royalty amount is going to be, what your price point ought to be at, and how much you're going to make per unit sold. So if you have any questions, please leave them down below. Happy to answer them as best as I can. And if you have other topics that you might want to cover along this genre, I'm happy to work on future videos as well to answer those questions if there's enough interest. Again, this is Rob Archangel, www.archangelinc.com, and I hope this has been helpful to you.